Tonight, day 20 of Putin's violent assault on Ukraine. President Zelensky conceding that NATO membership is off the table for his country.
It's clear that Ukraine is not a member of NATO. We understand it. We are adequate people. We have heard for years about open doors, but we have already heard that we won't be able to join it. It's the truth, and it's necessary to admit it.
Well, sadly, that concession so far has not stopped Putin's invasion. It doesn't seem like it will. And tomorrow morning, Zelensky will deliver a virtual address to our Congress. He'll likely beg for a NATO no-fly zone again and probably some jets and more aid. The NATO no-fly zone, however, is something the White House has said will not happen.
A no-fly zone would be escalatory, could prompt a war with Russia.
So earlier today, Joe Biden signed the spending bill authorizing $13.6 billion in aid to Ukraine. You can see it there in the box. Another bill packed with goodies for special interests, of course, which is the real reason Democrats look so happy at these bill signings. All of their favorite people are getting paid. Let's hope at least half of that $14 billion gets where it's supposed to go. One of the things that this war in Ukraine has done over the last 3 weeks is skyrocket energy prices, all sorts of energy prices. The price of oil had been rising throughout Biden's first year in office. It had almost doubled at one point before this all happened. Ukraine dramatically exacerbated a problem that we already had. But in recent days, something very bizarre has happened, something that makes almost no sense whatsoever in this climate. The price of crude oil has absolutely plummeted. Check out this chart. A week ago, you can see right here, 127, 123 Brent and WTI versus today. Both of those down below $100. It's a real head scratcher, isn't it? The situation really hasn't changed. At least it doesn't seem like it has. But it's not really if you really think about it. An economic downturn is now in the cards, potentially a recession, a huge economic slowdown that could be quite damaging in this country and around the world, the cause of which would be quite easy to identify, and that, of course, would be rampant inflation. And regardless of the spin, which this White House performs shamelessly almost all the time at this point, we all know who would be at fault for that. Former Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton and Obama economic advisor Lawrence Summers makes it plainly clear.
This is a grave problem. The president was wrong to blame this month's number on Ukraine. Everybody had been expecting from the time before Putin launched the invasion that inflation was going to accelerate from January to February. This is a consequence fundamentally of an overheated economy.
That's a Democrat. So what happened to the economy? Well, to make it easy, your government decided to dramatically overreact to COVID-19 and then print off ungodly amounts of money and create more government and more entitlements, which of course they love to do, all for the sake of protecting the people in an emergency. They handed out trillions of dollars while our economy was effectively shut down. Tons of that money was completely wasted, as it always is when government gets their hands on money. They didn't care. It's not their money. They never care when your money gets wasted. And then inflation exploded. And now, when asked about their culpability for inflation that'll no doubt lead to some kind of economic downturn, they get really defensive. Politicians get this way when they're guilty. Watch how pissed off Joe Biden is.
I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
The government spending is doing the exact reverse, reducing the national debt. It is not inflationary.
They're angry because they want more money and more power and more spending, and they want to be able to do it without any repercussions. And they really, really, really want Build Back Better, right? That was the big gem. They got their little infrastructure one, but not enough of their people got their goodies out of that one. They want the big one. They want the $5 trillion. They want to print untold amounts of money and create so much government they'll be regulating how many times a day you go to the bathroom. That's what they really want. But reality is about to walk in and slap these clowns right across the face. Janet Yellen is the Treasury Secretary in this country. Despite her financial background and prowess, she used to lead the Fed. She's been a primary enabler of this spending insanity, saying, don't worry, this inflation that we're seeing right now, it's not going to lead to a recession. Take a listen.
We've got a good, strong economy with an excellent outlook for the labor market and real activity going forward. Inflation is a problem, and it's one that we need to address, but I don't expect a recession in the United States.
You should feel better. The Treasury Secretary doesn't expect a recession. Oh, okay, well, we feel better now. Obviously, this is a highly educated woman, well-versed in economic issues, but she's much better at politics, left-wing politics. Here's Yellen just 6 months ago claiming that Build Back Better would be anti-inflationary. Yes, Treasury Secretary saying that printing and spending maybe $5 trillion more in this country would actually help to ease inflation.
For many American families experiencing inflation, seeing the prices of gas and other things that they buy rise, what this package will do is lower some of the most important costs, what they pay for health care, for child care, and it's anti-inflationary in that sense as well.
It's anti-inflationary. Janet Yellen was installed as head of the Federal Reserve by Obama and then relieved of her duties by Trump. Comments like Janet Yellen's right there should make you very nervous. These people have absolutely no idea what they're doing to this country, or they simply don't care. Purely political talking points from somebody that knows better. Janet Yellen was not named the Treasury Secretary for Biden because she's an economic savant. She got the job because she was willing to go on national TV and say things that nobody with a shred of economic sense could ever, in their wildest dreams, believe to be true. Printing trillions of dollars and spending it won't increase inflation. She fully endorsed the nonsensical agenda of the Democrat Party. Of course it's not going to increase inflation. It's going to make it go down. We're going to print all of this money and just dump it out, and money will be worth more after we do that. $5 trillion. We're going to rain trillions of dollars down on this country, and the money that you have in your pocket is going to be worth more after we do that. That's the Treasury Secretary. February's inflation, 7.9%, 4 months after Janet Yellen made that statement. And these people keep their jobs. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being this bad at your job and you just keep getting elevated? This is happening all over the government. It's just another shocking example of an administration that is utterly incompetent and playing with so much fire. People like Janet Yellen, just like Janet Yellen, are working right now to prevent World War III with Russia. How's your confidence level? They're about to sign a nuclear arms deal with Iran. Does that sound smart? They want to end American energy production to save us from climate change, even though they have no alternatives ready to go. They say climate change is going to destroy the world very soon. It might not do it before they do.